Good morning, everybody. I just have to come on and show you, I wanted some really grungy coffee and tea dyed papers. And I came on because I wanted to show you an easy way, a very easy way to get very grungy and coffee dyed papers. I live in the South, and I refuse to use my oven to dry paper. As long as the air conditioner or the furnace is on, paper dries just fine sitting on the counter. And this particular method doesn't take up a lot of room, which a lot of times I spread it all over. I have a big counter, but I know a lot of people don't have that. So I wanted to show you what I've been doing and just show you how easy it is. Now, these first few papers are tea dyed, and they're just yummy. Now, it doesn't go as far to the back. Let me turn this one back over. I mean, it's not as dark on the back as it is on the front, but they are just yummy. And I will tell you, this is the easiest thing I've ever done. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. But those are tea dyed, and then look at this grungy yumminess that's in these. These are coffee dyed, and there's different papers here, different weights of paper, different colors of paper actually. This one's white to start out with. This one was a cream color to start out with. It's just this is just a copy paper, but it was cream colored. So look at this. Isn't this just yumminess? So I thought I would show you a few sheets. And this is just some like dictionary paper. And there again, it's just absolutely grungy, totally grungy. And that's what I had wanted. But so easy. Now this is packing paper, like from moving packing paper. And I love this end on this one, where it's pulled into the edge. You can also do this with fabric, and I wanted to show you that I got some really nice results. This is just a lightweight sheer type curtain fabric. Now I'm maybe going to do a little bit more on this one over in here. That's the one thing about it. If it doesn't grunge up enough, you can always do it again. These were just some strips I had of a white cotton. But they came out just as nice and grungy as the paper. Now, one thing I didn't think about was when I put this little piece in, you notice that it's printed on one side, it's lighter on the back side. Now the back side's gorgeous, but the grunge didn't really go through as much to the front as I would have liked, because when I squished it up, it was upside down. So you need to think about that if you want this to be, the brighter side to be more grungy. So let me set this all aside so that I can show you what we did. Oh, let's first, let me put my tea paper over here. Okay, so this is how I tea dye. And those of you that watch my channel know that I drink a lot of iced tea. We go through a gallon of tea, the two of us, a gallon of tea every day. So I use these big gallon tea bags, and after I have finished making tea, I just lay some paper out here, and then I lay these tea bags on top of it. This one's ready to dry. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's just ready to dry. Well, the next one has started to get some grunginess on it, and I could take that one out and dry it, or I could throw the next day's tea bags on top of it. Now, if you don't use tea bags like that, you could just soak them down and throw them on there. and get this really cool effect. And it doesn't have to be the big tea bags, which I have to, I'm hoping you can see this because it's hard to tell. If you look right in here, you can see the lovely green color. Well, these are a raspberry herb tea bag. The tea comes out red, but when it stains this lovely green color. So, you know, there's always some differences in the way things work. Now, I don't like to make tea or coffee to just tea dye. My husband makes coffee every morning, and there will be a tiny little bit left. I'll show you how much. There's not very much left. So what he does for me is he just puts it in a container. I have this bottle of tea, it was tea, just a plastic bottle, and he saves it for me in the refrigerator. And this is probably 3 or 4 days worth, 5 days worth, who knows, until I have enough to work on my project. I'm going to need a little more than that because I don't want to. Okay, so then once I get my tea and my coffee built up and I have plenty of coffee, what I'm going to do is crunch up some paper, and I like to crunch it one time and then open it back up and then just put it in there. Okay, and then once it is soaked up, plenty of coffee, and we just let it get soaked up. Let me see if I can put both. Yeah, okay. Now, in this tray, all I have is just a couple of flat sheets, and they're just over there to catch the drippage. You might as well, you don't want to waste it. So I just gather this up, like so, and I put it over here. Now you could put several sheets in this coffee if you want. I just wanted you to be able to see what it takes to let it, just wanted to soak up the coffee. It doesn't have to be soppy wet. And paper is stronger than you think, even the dictionary paper. Okay, so that's about right. We're just going to gather it up. And I try to gather it up just, you know, however it happens, and I put it over there. If you can still see. I'm sorry for the furnace running, guys. It is cold here today for some reason. Okay, see, now if you let it sit there longer, it soaks up more. I don't usually worry about it soaking up too much. This cream colored paper takes a little longer to soak up the coffee. And I just kind of ball it up and sit it over there. Now if I want to do some fabric strips, I do exactly the same thing. I just throw them in there, and then I just kind of ball them up and I sit them over here. Oops, I bumped the camera. Sorry guys. And I just set it there. It just kind of looks like a piece of the paper. I've got another piece I want to try. I don't know if this fabric's going to work or not. I'm just going to use a little scrap of it. Now you don't want a ton of coffee in there, so with this fabric, I just kind of squeezed it out a little bit. Okay, so that's what you do. I mean, that's all I do. I just pile it up, and I actually piled that pretty high when I was doing the first batch. Now let me get some of this out of the way so you can see what happens next. So sorry, I don't mean to make you have a jumpy headache. This is not my normal setup, of course, so it's really hard to keep everything straightened out. Anyways, over, say 24 hours it takes at least for this to dry. At least it does here. For someone where it's a drier climate, it probably would dry much faster. But what happens is the paper on top, these edges up here, tends to dry first, and it will dry with these lovely little lines in it. Then you just kind of open it back up. And I just wait until it's pretty dry before I do this. Now, oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Just yummy. And there's no getting it in and out of the oven, worrying about it. This one's going to be really cool too, because you can see the staining on it. You can, I use coffee because hubby saves the coffee for me. If you want to use tea, use tea. Just boil up some strong tea. I just don't make something special. I save what would actually be dumped down the drain. And see there? See what yumminess that is? Now it takes a little bit to flatten out. And if you want, you can iron these, but we are going for grungy, so that's a fun part about it. I had a piece of fabric there I wanted to show you. Let me get this one open and then I'll show you the piece of fabric. And see how the coffee just kind of pulls to different places in the paper, which is just what I love. Okay, this is a piece of fabric. And I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's pulled all sorts to the edges and in that lovely little spot in the middle. And this is one more. And it dries darker in some places and lighter in others. And this piece of paper, I must have ripped it up a little bit. Okay, well, I'll either use it or use around it. It may have been ripped in the first place because this is actually packing paper that came out of packing boxes, and it was wadded up already. So anyways, that is our very, very, very simple and easy to do method of coffee dyeing. Just dip it and squash it. Now you see here there's quite a bit. This is why I put the paper in the bottom. Let me see if I can see that on camera. I walked around. There's quite a bit of coffee that drips off. So if you put paper in the bottom, then you also get some more dried paper. This will all dry. It'll be fine. If you let the bottom papers dry a little bit too long, they will tend to stick to the cookie sheet. These are just cookie sheets. This is coffee. I haven't put anything into it. I use my tea bags just as they came out of my container that I make tea in. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you will watch some of my other videos. As a matter of fact, I have another coffee dye video, and I will put a link to that video down in the description box. Okay? So, okay guys, have fun. Go make some art. Bye-bye.